Good evening, everyone, and welcome to a new episode of He Said, He Said, He Said, a look at the world from a seasoned Black man's perspective. I'm your host, Alvin King, and welcome to our Friday, August the 18th episode, ladies and gentlemen. Uh, Thank you for being here. Our show tonight is Let's Get Newsy 13. It is so much to talk to you guys about, so I'm just going to roll through and connect with you all. And thank you all for tuning in each and every Friday night with us. Starting next week, we are going on a 5-week hiatus. We will not be coming to you live. We have been going strong for 9 months, and you guys have been here through all of it. And when Boddie and Vash come on, we will, share more of our sentiments about that. But we're going to take a 5-week break. And in our absence, we're going to run some of our, favorite and hopefully your favorite previously aired episodes. So please tune in. I don't know if you guys have been shopping lately, but I've been going in and out of like department stores like Costco and Walmart. And can you believe that they have Halloween up already and Christmas? Yes. You are not, having a bad dream. Halloween displays and Christmas displays are all over the stores. And just for the record, give you a little bit of time, you can pace yourself. Halloween is in 74 days from today, and Christmas is in 129 days from today. All right, so plan accordingly. But it's just insane to see that we're not even through summer yet. This week, like I said, this is our Let's Get Newsy show, but I want to share with you guys two things that brought up two different types of emotions for me this week. And one of them, I didn't even know if I could get it on here, but I got to talk to you guys about that. There's a Texas woman that was ordered detained on Wednesday after she was arrested and charged with threatening the federal judge presiding over Donald Trump's election case here in D.C. Abigail Jo Xiii, 43, faces a charge of transmitting a threat to harm a person via interstate commerce, according to an affidavit signed by Joshua Henry of Homeland Security. The affidavit filed in federal court last week first reported that Xiii called the U.S. District Judge Tanya Chutkan's chamber on August 5th and left a threatening voicemail message intended for her, she was randomly assigned to oversee Donald Trump's case. Okay, and I'm going to read some of what she said to you guys because it really ticked me off. And I'm not going to read it in verbatim because it has some really harsh stuff on there. But this woman called and she first of all used the N-word according to the affidavit. You are in our sights. We want to kill you. If Trump doesn't get elected in 2024, we are coming to kill you. So tread lightly, and called her the B word. And she also went on to target people like Sheila Jackson Lee, the Democrat in Texas, the LGBT community, and some unnamed Democrats in her little rant, her racist rant, ladies and gentlemen. And Department of Homeland Security went to her house and they asked her, did you call? And she said, yes, she did, but she had no intention of coming to DC to do it. The mere fact that these people think they can just call a judge and go off like that, it just ticked me off so bad. But I don't know if we can go back to her picture. If I could ask my producer to go back to that first picture of her, I want y'all to see her because all of them don't look, like this per se, but that's the image of her. That's her. All right. Okay. All right. The second thing, ladies and gentlemen, that kind of messed with my emotions this week, on Monday here in DC, we had a terrible rainfall, and we have a doggy daycare center called District Dogs, and near where I go to church in Northeast DC, and it flooded. 6 feet of water went into this doggy daycare center and killed 10 dogs, ladies and gentlemen. So, my heart goes out to all of the owners, who have dogs. I'm a dog lover. And I know people, if you've never had a dog, or if you've never had a dog or don't like dogs, you have no idea how passionate and how much people can love their dogs and how they can become family. So my heart goes out to all of the dog lovers out there, you know, especially the ones who lost their dogs. My heart goes out there to you and to district, you know, daycare, district dogs. I hope you get a new establishment because I heard that you were very good. So, you know, I'm dedicating this show to all the dog lovers tonight, ladies and gentlemen. All right. I can't do any of this show without my guys, and being it's the last one, I need to get them in here. Let's get on with the chat, please.
Aloha.
Oh,
No.
hello. How you guys? You're so funny. You're so funny. I'm going to share my. I'm going to share mine, ladies and gentlemen. One of our co-panel members sent us all. This is a chair. Okay, can you see this chair? A folding chair that you could beat somebody. He sent us all chairs, ladies and gentlemen.
Who did that?
That one right there. That one right there in the dark shirt. That one over there. Right. He sent us all chairs. So.
Mine is on the bookshelf, so you can discover it at your leisure.
These chairs hold cultural significance for us, and I wanted us to be ready.
Yeah.
When you did
stay
that,
ready, you don't have to get ready.
You do not have to get ready.
I'm gonna let RuPaul take the stand. I put my RuPaul doll on here, so okay. I know it's for phones, you say, but my RuPaul doll is going to take. You know, I'm gonna put it right here. And Robert Jones made me get comfortable with my dolls. He said he was when he was on the show. He talked about, you know, using was it Wonder Woman as his he was his aura or something, right? He said Wonder Woman inspired him. That's what it was. So
yeah. I would have paid anything to see your faces when your chairs arrived.
Well, it was hilarious because I thought it was your demo tape. I was like, Bobby's a rapper now. And then when I opened it, really, I laughed heartily.
I just went on and took a picture and sent it to you as I do everything else. Okay. Hey, Monica. Hey, Shannon. Raheem Briggs is on the line tonight. How you guys doing tonight?
Hi, Raheem.
And what is it? Shannon said, how y'all gonna be off? How long? I know, Shannon. We're gonna be off for 5 weeks. We're coming back in early October, late September. But we got something new for y'all. Oh my God, we got something new for y'all. So I can't wait. Oh my God, Tony Wesley. Tony Wesley is the reason I'm sitting in front of a camera thinking I can do news and all the stuff that I do right now. Okay.
So Tony, thank him.
Tony is the one. Tony is the one. Hey, Tony.
Hey, Gregory.
So what's been going on? Hey, Gregory, what's been going on with you guys?
Hey, Shannon.
It's a busy week for me. Getting ready to start school again. Professional development going on. So, you know, it's been pretty busy.
Well, let's get on with this show then. Thank you. Okay, Vash, I'm sorry, Vash, you've been doing good because I know you got something going on in your life, somewhere else.
There's just so much going on. You know, be careful what you ask for because when it shows up, child, it is a lot of work. I am in like the phase of a project when you look back and you think that was like giving birth. I feel like I'm giving birth.
Oh, wow.
Well,
yeah, but it's a good thing. Like it's all good. I am not complaining at all. Loving every minute of it. So, but I always look forward to being here with you guys because I get to laugh.
Make sure you have some cocoa butter because those stretch marks after an assignment can be awful. So
yeah, I'm used to getting stretched.
Okay, make sure you. And I love it. So what's going on in this chat?
Okay. All right. So
you know, wait a minute. Tony said 5 weeks is somebody having work done. See that good. Look over there. No.
Well, all I can say is you'll know in 5 weeks when we come back and we're all like this, like
snatched. We're gonna look like prepubescents. We're gonna look good,
like Nene Lee.
And I have a full head of hair. I'll be like, "What are you talking about?"
Exactly. We're gonna get a bunch of people that y'all ain't never seen on here just so you think that it really is us.
All right. Okay, so I want to talk to you guys about. Okay, let's see. I really enjoyed the show. Oh, we have a question though. the show about friendships, and I've been wanting to ask Vash, what animal would you describe your best friend as? Oh my God, we have a question.
Oh,
Wow. I would say as a cat, wise, companion, as a cat. I would describe her as a cat. And I think she would like that because she is very close to cats.
Okay, well, thank you for that question, Greg.
And thank you, Gregory. I'm glad you watched
Gregory.
that.
Thank you.
Okay, so you guys know I've been talking for several episodes about concerts and people who've been performing all summer and the big hoopla around all of these big concerts, in particular, Beyonce's Renaissance tour. And so one of the things that I found quite interesting was that the experience for many people is not just going to the concert, it's really dressing up for the concert. And so I wanted us to just take a little time to just look at some of the lengths that concert goers are going in terms of just being in the Renaissance experience.
There's a gospel song called "Take Me Back to a Place." I can't say it because I don't have copyright privileges to sing that song. But
okay.
But when I see these photos and dressing up for concerts like this, I totally get it. I get
look
it.
at the elaborate, details of some of these outfits.
Wow.
I know some of the fabric stores were like going crazy. They were, because fabric stores, they were like this. Wait a minute, is something going on this week or this month? Okay, because
what is happening?
What is going? This is one of my favorite looks because this person captured the essence of Beyonce herself and one of her outfits. And so, I mean, I know we're not necessarily critiquing these, but I'm going to critique it. That one was one of my favorites.
It really captured the essence of one of her outfits and did it in its own version of a male version of it. Like, so it was a really interesting interpretation of one of her most popular outfits on the tour. Yeah. So but I just thought it was really interesting because, of course, I think I try to look nice when I go to a concert, but not necessarily actually going into a theme per se. And obviously, I realize I'm on the more mature side of things, and some of these are much younger people who are doing this. But I just really found it quite interesting that part of the Renaissance experience for many, many people is not just enjoying Beyonce, but actually kind of reflecting the Beyonce and the Renaissance experience in their attire when they go. So just wanted to take a second to look at some of those outfits.
So wait a minute, I got to ask you a question because you kind of went a couple of places. Because see, I would go out dressed like if I went to a concert, I'm a seasoned Black man, and I would definitely get into it. You know what I'm saying? I would get into it. So you said something that that you wouldn't do it. It was because that you feel like you couldn't push yourself to be that creative, or you're just at a place in your life where you're like this. I'm gonna put on a t-shirt and be done.
No, not necessarily a t-shirt. I'm not saying that I wouldn't
and I'm just using t-shirt as an example. I'm just using t-shirt.
No, I mean, because as you guys know, and you've teased me immeasurably about when I went to the African American Museum of History and Culture to see the latest Black Panther film, and they asked us to wear white. Well, thank you, Norman. So yes, so I did. They requested that you wear white, and I wore something with an African theme, to do that. So it's not that I see it as a bad thing or I'm above it. It's just that I would not necessarily think I might wear something with some sparkle or something in it, but it's the detail, it's the elaborate detail of some of these outfits that I would just found amazing.
You just need me to come over there and
the timing of it, right? Like when you're going to go to the concert in 4 months, you have time to put together an outfit and make the most of it. Because if you
make a statement, I guess I just also felt that people, that part of the experience of the Renaissance tour is also you making a statement, almost like your nod to Beyonce. Like there's a show that's happening on stage, and there's almost like a second one that's going on outside in terms of the concert goers. And I guess that's what I guess that's what I see as the difference. There's a difference, Alvin, I think, in people getting dressed up and kind of getting with the theme and kind of, but this is almost like the second show. This is like, because I've understood that she doesn't even come on for a good 45 minutes, almost to an hour afterwards. Right. And so they're playing her music and people are strolling and dancing and voguing and all. And so it's almost like the pre-show. It's like no one's opening for Beyonce, but yet everybody is opening for Beyonce.
Well,
and there's a huge voguing.
Go ahead.
What are you going to say? I'm going to say there's a huge voguing.
I only bought one ticket for Beyonce. Okay. So I bought one ticket. So everybody else, you need to sit down so I can enjoy the show. But
there's a huge voguing component though to the show. Like she's got I think the Balenciaga clan in her thing.
Some house.
Some of the houses.
Some house. Yeah.
So people are showing up as if they were going to be walking in a ball.
Yeah.
It's a sign of the times, and I'm just glad that people jumped on the bandwagon and they gave it their all, because you only live once. And this was their moment to do it. So I'm giving them kudos across the board.
And I'm hoping, I'm hoping indeed that the show will be available for those of us who didn't go to see it on a streaming system at some point.
I'm sure if you surf the YouTube, you can find it. It's there. But you and I'm sure she would not be totally happy about that. But yes, some people have taped the whole show. So that would not be. I wouldn't recommend it, but I'm just saying if you want to see it now, you can see it. It would.
I want Netflix quality.
Okay. Okay. Well, there you go. Thank you, Gregory.
Thank you.
Well, speaking of,
Gregory's saying the full concert is right there on YouTube.
I'm going to ask you guys a question that I'm sure everybody has to deal with, but I want to just briefly talk about phone etiquette. And I want to talk about, I've been researching about, well, first of all, what most annoys you? Is there the one thing that annoys you about people using their phone in public right now? Because a lot of people don't have phone etiquette.
I am not one who enjoys people talking on speakerphone in public. Sometimes I will actually respond to the conversation.
Wow.
What about you, Boddie?
For me, it's just knowing when it's when and where is it appropriate. Like in a restaurant, people are trying to eat, having conversations, and you're holding, like Vash is saying, like a conversation with someone. And sometimes it's on speakerphone, but sometimes it's just they have the phone up to their ear and they're speaking at this volume as if there's no one else around them.
It can be quite annoying. So I have picked 5 points that I've picked from a book of 130 points about that are acceptable cell phone etiquette. One of them,
I love that first one.
Don't think you are so important that you need to be reachable every minute. Okay. For all that was so first and foremost for me. The vast majority of callers don't need immediate access to you unless you're an expected father or on a transplant list. Okay. The second thing is speak softly when talking on your cell phone. Don't annoy people around you, especially in airports, train stations, or other enclosed spaces where others are trapped. Unwilling listeners. Okay. If possible, move away from them, when you're on your phone. The third one was don't continue talking on the phone when it's your turn to order at a service counter. Okay.
Or pay at like a cashier.
Get off the phone.
And don't be the cashier on the phone.
Oh, fired. You're so fired. Okay. You're so fired. Number 4, don't use your cell phone in public restrooms. That is a private place.
Ew.
Don't nobody want to hear you talking when they're having a
moment. Or the gym locker room also.
Oh, that was on the 140 something list of people. And the last thing, invest in some damn headsets. Okay.
I want to bring up something that Gregory said, because I agree with this list, but I also agree with what Gregory said. He says, playing devil's advocate, what's the difference between someone talking on their phone in a restaurant versus talking to a person sitting across from them? It's still 2 people talking.
Technically, yeah.
Go ahead, Bobby. Go, because I got the answer.
I was going to say technically yes.
Yes.
But for me, part of it also is just the whole thing about presence and being engaged in that moment. And so, I mean, he's technically right. It is still the amount of sound, I guess, between two people. But I don't know. I guess it's just for me something about being present.
And there's also a degree of intimacy that usually is on a phone conversation where someone thinks that no one else can hear them versus two people sitting and talking. Two people sitting and talking together are going to usually regulate their volume and the content of their conversation.
Yeah.
But that doesn't usually happen on a phone.
Yeah. I mean, it's certainly a valid point. I get more upset when it's the cashier on the phone, or even when I'm speaking to someone. If someone calls me when I'm in line paying for something and I'm about to get to the register, I will immediately say to them, let me call you right back because I need to pay for what I'm doing. Because when you're trying to talk and paying and going for your card, and I just think, and you're holding other people,
it's rude.
I have sound issues, Gregory. So I know it's all subjective. And I don't have a problem with hearing people talk when they're in restaurants. But, I'm like, have it at a level. If you're talking to someone at the table with you, I certainly don't want to hear all your conversation. So, you use be respectful, because people, I have sound issues, Gregory, but that's a good point you brought up. And for our cell phones, turn it off. You're annoying me, so you must be annoying your date. So yeah, so that's but it's really an issue. So that's what was in my chat for this week, ladies.
That was we touched on the nerve, I think.
Yeah. Not so much as Biden trying to send people back to work, but that's okay. Go ahead. We're not going to talk about that. We're not going to do that.
Hilarious. Well, look, let's move on to something a little bit more somber. I am wearing a Hawaiian style shirt because I'm showing my pono for the people in Hawaii. If you are living under a rock and do not know, there was a big fire in Maui and Lahaina town, and the death toll has reached over 110 people, with an estimated still 1,300 people still unaccounted for, as search and rescue teams continue to comb the whole zone, which is really the entire town. I mean, when you look at some of these pictures,
that's devastating.
People say it is like an atomic bomb has gone off. The entire town has truly been wiped out. And there are lots of people raising lots of questions about what caused the fire. Was it planned? Or was it just the environment? Was it a perfect storm? There are all kinds of theories from people who live in the town or lived in Lahaina town, who really just want a lot of answers. The outbreak of that wildfire is the nation's most deadliest fire ever. I mean, or at least in the last 100 years, right? And Governor Josh Green said that this is the largest natural disaster in our history. So, we know that there have been developers trying to get the locals in Lahaina, as well as in a few other parts of Maui that are densely concentrated with locals who have owned those lands for generations. So it's just very odd that those areas burned, and already people are trying to get the locals to sell. The locals there are really monitoring them and really trying to collect names of people that are reaching out to people trying to sell their lands, because they are really trying to connect the dots to see if there was anything nefarious going on here. But our hearts go out to the people of Maui, sending you aloha, peace, and I hope it all works out.
The images on the news were just harrowing, of seeing people standing in water. And right behind them, the entire town in flames. Like they're even in the water, they're ducking ambers, and so it's just devastating to see.
I did hear. I don't know if you have a link to any where people can go, Vash, for any information on that to donate. I did hear that the American Red Cross, and I would, I know they had a link where people could go if they wanted to donate. to it, but I don't know if that's the most reputable place to go right now. So if you had any links or anything, that would be helpful.
I will find some, because the
Okay.
people of Hawaii are asking, instead of donating to large scale American based charities and foundations that say they're going to help, they really want you to find local Hawaiian organizations that are going to get money to people, because they're going to need help for a very, very long time. One post I saw that went around, which I think is such an amazing idea. It would be lovely to have a cruise ship just park right off of Maui to house people for as long as necessary while the town rebuilds. And I would donate tons of money to keep a cruise ship there. I would even go work on it for a while to make sure that those people were taken care of.
The other source that certainly comes to mind for me is World Central Kitchen with Jose Andres as well. These people show up and are feeding people immediately. Like, they are known for going exactly where there's been a disaster and being very effective in feeding people. I think Jose Andres is an angel on earth for the work that he and his colleagues have done in terms of actually giving people sustenance, giving them something that makes them feel not just fed in terms of physical feeding, but also a spiritual feeding and compassion. So World Central Kitchen is one charity that I often try to support under such conditions as well.
Okay.
Well, we're definitely
I did do a little search. I did a little search. I'm just going to put a little article in the chat.
Okay. Well, while you're doing that, unless you got some more to say, I'm going to keep moving, because there's some other fires somewhere, and I need. I'm sure people know where they are. If you haven't, you all need to get y'all tickets for that midnight train to Georgia on the 24th of August, because a Georgia grand jury this week indicted former President Donald Trump, charging him with the felony racketeering and numerous conspiracy charges as part of a sweeping investigation into the effort by him and his allies. I think is there a picture of his allies that we can put up there, which included former lawyer Rudy Giuliani, John Eastman, Kenneth Chasabro, Jenna Ellis, and Ray Smith, and several other people. The Fulton County District Attorney, my girl, Fannie Willis, enlisted a special grand jury last year that heard testimonies from 75 witnesses. Among the best known moments was a call in which Trump asked Republican Secretary of State Brad, Raffensperger, to find the votes he needed to beat Joe Biden. But out of the 19 indicted are 2 African Americans, ladies and gentlemen. Don't think that this is like a one-sided thing. One of them is Harrison Floyd, a leader of Black Voices for Trump. And he allegedly tried to convince Fulton County election worker Ruby Freeman to make false statements about election operations during the election day on 2020. And also, Trevion Kuti, I think that's how you pronounce her name, a former publicist for rapper Ye, previously noticed Kanye West is charged in connection with pressuring Freeman to make false statements about her role in helping administer the election. I just want y'all to know this. Fannie is calling everybody out to the carpet. This is not a, I'm going to get you sucker white people moments, as some people may think. If you had anything to do with the wrongdoing that's a part of this, all of these indictments, she's coming for you.
She is indeed. And I just want to give her a shout out because, of course, Fannie is what? A fellow Howard University Bison. So she is. Want to give Fannie her shout out for that. But Alvin, I don't know if you had heard also recently on the tragic side of this, what's going on as well. Apparently, a conservative right-wing agency of some sort has taken the information of the grand jury, personal information, their pictures, their address, home addresses, and so forth, and has been publicizing them so that people can go and bother them, harass them, and possibly even harm them physically or their family members. Like, it is really insane what people are out here doing.
Which goes back to what I said in the opening. about that woman in Alvin, Texas?
Absolutely.
Okay,
Absolutely.
can you believe she lives in a state that has my name attached to it? Alvin, Texas. Okay, I mean, you know, these people are out here, and they are vicious, and they are serious. I mean, all of them are supporting a lie. All of them are you know, in this world that they've created for themselves, and so, but they're very hateful, and it's really scary. So, oh yeah, but
Goes back
my
to a
prayers
history
go out
of
to all of them.
Goes back to a history of fear mongering, making people afraid to do their civic duty. Like, imagine your personal information, because you did your civic duty, your personal information, your address, your photo, exposed in this way to people who we know are not necessarily stable.
Well, these are people who are inside who are doing it. So, you know, they know exactly what they're doing. It's not like a mistake. You know what I'm saying? But it's really bad. But these people will be sequestered. But even their stuff is out there. So even if they're sequestered.
Yeah, it's about, they can't protect you from going to the grocery store. They can't, you can't follow your child or your spouse everywhere you go, because we know that sometimes the tactic of people who do these things is not necessarily just you. They will go after somebody that you love.
We're going to keep them. We're going to keep them lifted. We're going to keep reporting on whatever we hear, and you know, it's just a trouble. Well, we knew it was going to be trouble, but the good news is we might be able to see it play out on TV, and
because of where it is.
I hope that they do air a lot of this trial, but most of it, I'm sure they will not. But more shall be revealed.
Well, more shall be revealed. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah. Okay.
We're also, you know, as you all know, being the educator that I am and talking about getting ready for the start of the school year, America is facing a, I guess Alvin had something else to share.
No, what did I do?
There's an
image.
You
just want to point out how many criminal counts that this man has.
Oh, I'm sorry. You know, I was going to say, I didn't do anything.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm sorry, Vash, about, yes. The NAACP said this, ladies and gentlemen. This is the only person who has ever held this office, ever, that has had this much criminal activity associated with him as a leader of, you know, of our country.
And that's a lot.
That's a lot.
That's 91 criminal counts, 4 indictments, 2 impeachments, integrity, 0.
That's a lot for anybody, let alone someone that was once the president.
Exactly. That's a lot for anybody. And you still walking the streets.
Trying to get elected, trying to run something again.
Run it again. And to hear people who support him going like, this is unheard of. No president has ever been treated this way. And it's like, but no president has ever done what he did.
Exactly. And Melania is just going out living her best life. She could not be bothered any less than what
nowhere to be found. Nowhere to be found.
She's like, there's so many things. It's kind of, when you're doing a show like this, and you know my personality, there's so many things I just want to say that I can't say. So I'm gonna keep it so professional, because
do it in hula.
Oh,
we are not doing interpretive dance tonight.
Go ahead, keep it moving. Keep it moving.
We are going to talk about the catastrophic, unfortunate teacher shortage that America is facing right now. I mean, we are talking about rural school districts in Texas that are now cutting, that I have decided to cut back to 4 days a week. We're talking districts that are considering implementing artificial intelligence to cover classes. We are talking about college students being able to step right into teaching, some without education degrees. We're talking about the state of Florida asking veterans to come, even with no teaching experience or education experience, asking them to come and teach into the classrooms. It is a significant and real issue that I think that we are going to really feel the brunt of over time. This slide that we have in front of us here, 80% of teachers say that taking on more work due to unfilled job openings within their district is a serious problem. Like we are facing a very, we thought that the pandemic was one thing when students were learning virtually, but imagine now being in situations where students are expected to come to school and there are not enough teachers to teach, manage. You know, one of the things that we all can remember is the importance of classroom management. We all remember classrooms where teachers were very good about keeping things under control. And those teachers who, whenever you went in there, it was mayhem. So imagine the inexperienced teachers, kids who love to, you remember how kids would act when a substitute teacher would come in.
Yeah.
How they still act. Go ahead.
Yeah.
But all I'm saying is there's a lot of potential for some very substandard educational experiences across the country.
That's the goal. The goal is to just decimate public education, to take the money and move it into places where the children that they want to educate will get educated, and all of the other children will just simply get left behind.
It sustains the system of privilege to keep it as it is, because there will be families within our country who will always, as a result of their privilege, be able to afford private education, charter schools, all kinds of other options. But the public school system is totally under siege. I have been told that there are districts that are paying people like massive signing bonuses just to get them in to come and actually teach. It's very, very disheartening, because we're dealing with the residuals of the pandemic. And then to have this on top of it is, as Gregory was saying, I'm concerned equally for our future.
Well, it's not only the teachers. I know we're talking about the teachers, but I mean, we're talking about a shortage of bus drivers. We're talking about people, nutritionists who come in to feed the kids. We're talking about, a lot of these areas are being impacted. And is it all about money? It's not just about money, is it?
I don't think it's all about money. I think for a lot of people, the pandemic changed a lot of people's expectations about what they want to do, how long they want to do it. Like we have had to spend a significant amount of time finding teachers who understand that teaching virtually is not the preferred way of teaching, particularly kids at our grade level. I'm at a K through 12 school. You've got people who, as a result of it, the pandemic, will say, you want to, do I have to come in?
Right.
Well, you're teaching kids. Yeah, we need you to be here. Virtual teaching was not the ideal situation. We made it work, but it was not the ideal situation.
The thing is, there are some students that did excel in the virtual classroom experience because being in, so there's room for all, but it is very, very important for socialization, for the physical activity of it all, et cetera, for children to be together, to see each other,
socialization is important.
Extremely. The sports, all of it. It's important to be together.
We had something that, first of all, hi Blue. Thank you, Gregory, for that comment. And we also have, is it area? Oral health. I'm sorry. Let me see. Oral health. Is that it? The behaviors of parents, their children, and poor leadership is driving people away to pursue other careers and retire when they can. We can no longer retain or suspend students.
How frightening is that?
That is, and on that note, thank you. Thank you for bringing that conversation to a close. But we're going to keep our eyes on that, being that we do have an educator, on our panel. So we're gonna keep that. We're gonna keep it moving. Well, we're gonna move to violence and policing and crime and racial profiling, which we know is, it is insane.
There's a lot going on.
Right here in DC, crime is becoming so violent in Washington, D.C. metropolitan area that Councilman Trayon White has proposed to Mayor Bowser to bring the National Guards to deal with the problems that we're having just in DC, ladies and gentlemen. So I know if you live someplace else, crime is definitely off the chart. But 30 years ago, Sharon Pratt Kelly was our mayor. And 30 years ago, Sharon Pratt Kelly asked for the the National Guard to come in to deal with the crime, that we were having back then. And the person, Kevin Chavez, who was in Ward 7, where Trayon White is now located, he was a part of that. So, it's getting to the point where it's really crazy. But today, our new police chief did do something that I thought was very important. And as of September 1st, kids 16 and under they will have a curfew, and they will be off the streets from 11 p.m. to 6 a.m. on weekdays, and 12 a.m. to 6 a.m. on weekends. And the curfew has been in the books for decades. But this is something that we really need to implement, because parents don't know where their kids are at night.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? And a lot of it has to go back
out in the street after 11.
Hmm?
Why are 14-year-olds in the street after 11 o'clock?
Hello.
Yeah.
How come you don't know where your child is at 11 o'clock?
When the street light comes on.
How
that
come?
Was it was a signal, exactly. Oh, gotta go.
Get your behind in the house.
I want to see how that works. And I don't know if other cities have implemented something like that, but that's something that I'm glad that went down. And, because, just the other day, how university students are going back to their dorm, and they got jumped by a bunch of hood rats leaving a playground. Yeah. It was awful. These are students just going into their dorm, and they didn't like them.
Absolutely. Well,
so sad.
Yeah, sad.
It is. And yet again, much going on, as you were saying, in terms of over-policing in certain situations and how we're being treated. Filmed trauma once again. You might have heard of 12-year-old Tayshawn Bernard in Lansing, Michigan. Tayshawn was in the house with his family. His father was washing dishes. He asked, as many parents will ask their children, to take out the trash. Tayshawn actually took out the trash. And while he was outside at the dumpster, he was apprehended by the Lansing police and eventually handcuffed at 12 years old, simply taking out the trash. Reports are that there was a call made about a potential car theft going on by a young man. They described someone in neon shorts or brightly colored shorts and a white shirt. And Tayshawn had on very brightly colored shorts, but a white shirt. The Lansing police are considering it a mistake of mistaken identity. And I remember, Alvin, when you and I first saw the information, we were talking about the trauma of this child's experience as a 12-year-old. Knowing the sensation of having handcuffs, being apprehended by the police by simply just going outside. And the Lansing police have offered an apology. And I want to read what Tayshawn's father said. He said, "I will never accept an apology. My son did not deserve to be treated the way that they treated him. No way, no shape, no form. Justice for my son. That's all I want and nothing else." And the lawyer of this family said that if they want to apologize, they said, let's see. I'm sorry. I thought I lost where we were talking, what the lawyer said. But basically, they were saying that he should not have been treated that way. No. And he was wearing neon shorts, a light gray or white, a light bluish shirt. There was no mistaken identity here.
He should not.
The father, I watched the video. The father was exemplary in terms of how he was protecting his child.
He saved that child and his life in the way he was able to contain himself.
Right. Because I know that he wanted to go off.
Yep. Yeah.
I think the biggest part of watching that was after it was over, and there's a video where you see Tayshawn. Is it Tayshawn?
Tayshawn, yes.
Tayshawn. You see Tayshawn, the look on his face, like, what happened? Like what? Yeah. And just the trauma right there. And I know we had even talked about playing the video clip today, but just to see that, ladies and gentlemen, if you could see that, please Google 12-year-old being handcuffed. Please look at that. And every family needs to see it if you have a black kid. Yep. Okay, because that can happen to your child, literally taking the trash out, and their whole life has changed forever because a policeman won't answer their question. When they ask the question, what did I do? Yeah.
And he obviously, when you watch the video, you will see it's not one of these situations where I would assume if someone was in the parking lot trying to steal cars and so forth, if you saw the police, you would run. Like you would not just kind of like you just, and you can see that this young man is just really totally confused by why are they stopping him? What are they asking him? Then they cuff him. They put, and his father is like saying, why is he in handcuffs? Like he was just going outside. You know, here you have a father in front of the police saying, I just sent him outside to empty the trash.
Empty the trash.
And I think the insensitivity of law enforcement to what it means to any child to be handcuffed and apprehended. But certainly in America today, the trauma of a Black child being handcuffed. Like, as I said, that child should not know the sensation of having handcuffs on at 12 years old for doing nothing.
Well, and there's this issue with cops just not wanting to listen to Black people when they're telling them, look, you've got the wrong person, or this is the
wrong person.
Right.
You know, but there's so many cars, and they're still like, hey, you know, this is the description, we're moving forward, and you know, it's just out of control, and it's especially out of control when we know that cops are can be some of the worst people. 6 officers, some of whom call themselves the Goon Squad, have pled guilty to state charges and torture of 2 Black men with stun guns and sex toys. Prosecutors said that for now, the former officers, they kicked in the doors of the victims' homes and immediately began a 90-minute torture session. 6 former Mississippi law enforcement officers pled guilty in state court Monday to charges related to torturing these men in January. All 6 had already admitted their guilt to the crimes in federal court. So prosecutors say the officers, who were all white, nicknamed themselves the Goon Squad because of their willingness to use excessive force and cover up their malfeasance, including the attack that ended with one of the victims, Michael Corey Jenkins, shot in the mouth.
In the mouth.
In the mouth.
In the mouth.
The prosecutors recommended only 5 years of prison time on Monday for the first charges and 5 on the second charges. And those sentences are going to be running concurrently, meaning that they would be out after 5 years. They still face federal sentencing in November. But to me, if you're a cop and you were supposed to be serving and protecting, and it turns out that you have done something wrong,
abused power,
I'm sorry, that should be like life imprisonment or death penalty. There should be stiff penalties for cops that go against what they are vowed to do.
Absolutely.
5 years is not enough for them. That's what I'm going to say to that. And real quick, I saw that Raheem Briggs, who is also, I know he works closely with Trayon White, councilman, and he was talking about his ward, and he said he lives in Ward 8 in DC, and that the crime is really bad. And they I think we even talked about this last week, where they're threatening to close a giant food store, which is like the only store in that area. It's like a flagship store. Raheem, I see you, brother. I know all too well what's going on. I'm sorry, Bobby.
No, I was just going to say, also, we referenced last week, not that, again, they are automatically the same, but you do have to look at the difference in response. The young man who shot Megan Thee Stallion in the foot once, I think, was sentenced to what, 9 or 10 years?
10 years, yeah.
And here these people tortured these men, shot in the mouth. There was all kinds of abuse, and they were in a position of power.
Right. And they covered it up. They lied.
And they covered it up, and so forth. And this is their sentencing.
They're just getting a slap on the hand. Yep.
See,
the difference in terms of how people of color are treated in the criminal justice system versus those who are white in America. It is the difference is stark.
There are so many ways that I honestly, you got, and I really want to give y'all all of me, ladies and gentlemen, but there are so many things that I want to say about these goons and what they did to these men. And you know what I'm saying? And why did you have to do that? And what was in your mind to feel that you had to commit sex acts on these men? Why? Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? It just goes to so many things. That's a whole talk show right there. But I would have to call Phil Donahue to come on here because I would need to get some answers to all that. But so I'm sorry, Vash, if you, I'm gonna move on to some entertainment.
Yeah, let's lighten it up because we are disgusted and we want blood.
Heavy topic. Heavy topic. Yeah.
Well, for those of you all like me who have sat in front of your TV and have seen the movie The Blind Side, Michael Orr, the former NFL tackle who inspired the movie, starring Sandra Bullock, has filed a petition in a Tennessee court saying that the couple he thought had adopted him were actually his conservators. Okay. And there's been a lot of twists and turns in this story recently. Sean and Leah Ann Toohey, he accused them of lying about having him to sign papers to make him or make them his conservators. And so just today, the Tooheys have ended the conservatorship with Michael Orr, which I'm glad they did. But there's a lot of people who feel like, well, wait a minute, you know, you kind of benefited from this too, which he said he did not. He didn't get anything for the movie. But some people feel like, well, they took you in when you were at your lowest point. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, you lied. You lied, and a movie was made, and they only claimed they made $700,000 off the movie. That was it. Do y'all believe that?
No, and that's why writers are striking, because we know that that's a lie. They made more money than that.
They made more. The movie was nominated for Academy Award, right?
And Sandra Bullock won, didn't she win the Academy
Award? And she won.
But you wasn't just nominated; she won.
But you only got $700,000. So kudos to you, Michael Orr. Okay, keep doing what you're doing. I'm glad that you are at a place in your life, physically, mentally, soulfully, spiritually, to take this on. So kudos.
And speaking of people calling people to task, we have entertainer Billy Porter. Billy Porter, who many of you know, rose to fame through Pose and Kinky Boots and so forth. He's a very versatile and talented entertainer. He was recently interviewed and really went at Anna Wintour, the editor-in-chief of Vogue magazine, and their decision to highlight Harry Styles on the front cover as the first male to wear kind of like non-binary or to engage in a dress. He's the first male to be on the cover of Vogue, and he's also wearing a dress and doing it. And he got like all of these accolades for it and cutting edge and all of that. And Billy Porter is like, okay, well, first of all, he's not the first person to really kind of rock this look. In fact, Billy Porter says that he had engaged with Anna Wintour previously around Vogue's commitment to really trying to be better around issues of people of color and trans and non-gendered or trans and non-binary people and their representation in the magazine. And she said, well, how can we do better? Here is Billy Porter, who literally broke ceilings and being able to come to the Academy Awards to the Oscars in this fabulous tailored tux gown that everyone spoke about. And so that didn't make the front cover, but Harry Styles was able to make it. And she said, how do we do better? And he had said, you need to be better about showing some diversity, representing different communities and so forth. And then she goes around and then takes a white cisgendered male and puts him on the front cover of Vogue in the dress and gets all the accolades. And Billy Porter is just not having it.
Yeah. Well, you know, you got to say what's on your mind.
Keep fighting, Billy. Okay. Okay. Keep fighting. Okay.
Yeah. We're not going to talk about him in his house. All right. So,
well, I mean, he's going through some other things. Obviously, he's having to sell his house right now as a result of divorce. I believe he's just announced that he and his husband are getting divorced. There's a lot of other personal stuff going on in his life as well. But I do have to give him credit. That ball gown was epic. Mm-hmm. It was epic.
Yeah, he's a trendsetter. Those who need to know it, and you know, he's still Billy Porter, and we love him.
Yeah. For the sake of, because you did the research, I'm not even going to go in and say it's Anna's magazine, Billy.
Ooh, so yes, if you would like to be on the cover, do what Oprah did and start your own magazine.
Yes, how can we be better?
Yes.
And I stand with Billy on this one. Yes. I don't stand with him on a lot of things, but I stand with him on this one.
Yes.
I definitely get his point, but I'm like, okay.
Look, Billy, start a magazine and put us in it.
Okay.
So look, I'm going to move us on. Usher and Keke Palmer are fueling the flames caused by that viral Las Vegas moment when, you know, Keke was scantily clad dancing with Usher, and Keke's boyfriend, Darius Jackson, got a little upset. Well, look, Keke is now starring in Usher's latest music video called Boyfriend. In the video, she is seen prepping for a girls' night out in the Las Vegas casino and doing dances that Usher dances. There's a couple moments of them sort of kind of together. And the lyrics of the song is, somebody said your boyfriend's looking for me. Well, he should know I'm pretty easy to find. Just look for me wherever he sees you. Scandalo.
And that's ex-boyfriend at this point. I should
point. You know, hey, after seeing that video, because I watched it today. So before the music video comes to a close, Palmer is in bed. Her phone rings. She's missed the concert, and she goes, "Oh my gosh, I'm just so tired." And then looks at the camera and winks and says, "I am a mother after all."
That's right. Bam.
It's like, come on.
She looks fabulous in the video. She looks wonderful.
I think it was a cheap. I think it's going to come back to haunt them. I think it was a terrible move. It was great for Usher. You got a song out. You haven't had a song in years. You got sucked into this, and I just think that Keke, you might have wanted to give this a little bit more thought, because this is going to come back to haunt you. Yeah, it's you know, everybody who's in the moment, you know, Keke this, Keke that, but you might have made a mistake, but you don't know it yet.
I thought it was a little tacky.
I thought it was tacky. It was tacky.
Well, you know, they are also of an age and a culture sometimes that they don't even believe in getting back at somebody or responding to somebody privately. It's all got to be public now. Then that we all get, you know, drug into, you know, these situations, and it's just like, you know, if you and your baby daddy, because they're not married, are having these issues. He called her out publicly, and she felt, I guess, the need to do it. But I agree with you. Usher has now found himself in the middle of that, and it's going to be interesting to see how it
put himself in the middle of it. Usher put himself in the middle of it. He didn't have to do that song, but I'm gonna keep it moving, because Usher didn't have to do that song. Okay, and since, you know, but before we go in, some people are you know, just in the public eye, and they're, you know, have made some mistakes. I don't know if they're owning up to it or not. But Lizzo, you know, Lizzo is now under fire for some claims that her dancers have put on her for treating them unfairly. Well, Lizzo was part of a large group of people. I'm sorry, a small group of people, which Taylor Swift just declined to do the Super Bowl halftime show, and she has been dropped from that list. Okay, so I'm like, okay, Lizzo, sit down for a minute. You might have to step back from the public eye for a minute. Yeah, because she's getting dropped on a bunch of stuff. Yeah.
Yes.
I want the truth to come out about that. Like, I want to know all that went down, because her having an opinion and saying certain things, if it's taken wrong by people, I'd like to know, you know, I want to know more.
It'll come out. It's going to come out. It's going to come out. Yeah.
There's also a change going on here in the DMV. Many of you know actress, first African-American woman to win a Tony and Howard alumnus, Felicia Rashad, has been the dean of the Chadwick Boseman College of Fine Arts at Howard University. And she's recently announced that she is stepping down. Many people have said, you know, why is she leaving so early? Well, first of all, she signed a 3-year contract. And this year, she is not stepping down immediately. She is announcing that she is stepping down at the end of her contract, so she is honoring her commitment, her 3-year commitment to Howard University in this leadership position. I think that it has been a very high-profile position of leadership for her. I think it has been under some scrutiny as well. I think her comments that she made about Bill Cosby at the beginning of her tenure were difficult to move beyond for some people. I think she is an extremely talented actress who probably could be doing a lot of very glamorous, high-profile jobs and so forth. And being a dean at a university is not always as glamorous as she's grown accustomed to.
It's work.
And I think that she has certainly brought a great deal of attention to that program and to that college within the university as a result of her being the dean. So I want to thank Dean Rashad for, as a fellow alumnus, coming back and really shining the light on what is known as an extraordinary fine arts school. So change is afoot.
Well, I think what makes a good leader is knowing when to leave, of knowing when you've had enough, when you've done all you could do, and you leave. I really I commend her on that as well. A lot of people don't. They just kind of sweep that under the carpet. But when it's time to go, a good leader says, you know what? I'm out. I'm sorry, what did you say, Tony? Tony had one thing to say, and we're going to go over just a couple of minutes, ladies and gentlemen. This is our last show. We won't see you for 5 weeks. And we're traumatized about it. So what did Tony say? No offense to her, but did Lizzo really have the long enough catalog for the Super Bowl? Ooh, did she have? Ooh, I think so, Tony. She did. Yeah.
And then she's sharing the stage with multiple people.
Yeah.
It's not like she's doing it by herself. She was part of a group, so she's got some really big hits. So I think she could have held it.
Yeah, I think she has enough in her repertoire to have done that. So, ladies and gentlemen, before we leave tonight, thank you all for being here. Bobbie and Vash, if you could got to take a few seconds. If there's anything about this year, these past 9 months that you want to share that was like maybe your memorable moment, or that you want to leave, or something that just you looked at the show and you just said, damn, or damn, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. You guys want to share before we leave tonight?
Vash keeps coming back every week. I don't know why.
Oh, I do. And I keep welcoming you. And that was going to be the thing that I said, is that I am just so thrilled that you have been with us for the majority of the shows that we've done since you joined us. And it has been really great to have you around.
Thank you. It's been a joy. It really has. I've enjoyed it. I love seeing people engage with the show, share their feedback. It's been great. I guys know I went from being a viewer to your co-host, and it's just been an unexpected brotherhood that I've really, really very much enjoyed.
Thank you. I'm just going to say, overall, I am so pleased. To have a vision and see it come to fruition with people, that you see every week are pulling their weight and doing, what they need, what you guys are doing to help bring this vision to life. It really just overwhelms me sometimes. And sometimes, guys, I will call them after the show or send them a text, and I'll say, you know what, guys, I just love the show. I've seen it 8 times, and we've had many moments like that. So thank you all. Thank you for a great year. And, here's to the next cycle. And if we could read our words of the week, Bobbie provided these for us, but I kind of changed them a little bit. And I know he's going to look at me like, what?
What?
Our words of the week is on Black rest. Mm-hmm. The cycle of harm whiteness creates is meant to exhaust, because when we are tired, we cannot dream. We cannot play. We cannot love. We cannot create. We cannot collaborate. We cannot heal. We cannot build a world that makes us feel seen, heard, and held. So tonight, we are wishing all of you rest. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us these last 9 months. And please follow us on all of our social media sites. Please tune in for our shows that we will, our previously aired shows that we will be running for the next 5 or 6 weeks.
Yeah, and we also want to thank all of our extraordinary guests who came and added such texture and volume and depth to our show. We thank all of you for coming and being a part of our
buy their books, go see their concerts, watch their shows, everything.
And tell people about He Said. That helps too. Okay?
Absolutely.
Ladies and gentlemen, until we see you all again, please take care of yourself, and we will see you on the next episode of He Said.
He Said.
He Said.
See you guys.
Everybody.
Thanks, everybody. Have a seat, people. Have a seat. Where's your...